Do you guys want to know how to make money in horse racing? I'm going to show you guys what you should be looking for in order to pretty much sway horse racing in your edge and give you a little bit of a bump on how to win when it comes to betting on the ponies. All right, as always guys, I'm Frank with Linemaker Sports, and if you guys just want to learn how to do this, just go down in the description and book a call and you can work with me one-on-one. Horse racing is very exciting to be a part of, to bet on, because you know if you're going to win pretty much within a minute or so. Very fun to be a part of. So throw in the comments if you guys like horse racing and what type of bets you guys do in horse racing, because that's kind of the first thing I want to address here before we really get into it. You could pick obviously who's going to win the race. You could pick who's going to come in second, who's going to come in third. You could pick if they're going to come in first, second, and third. You could do exactas, which means pretty much you're picking who's going to come in first and second in the same order. Trifectas, that are who's coming in first, second, and third in the order. Superfectas, where you pick four. So there's a lot of different type of bets that you could do. Throw it down in the comments. I'm interested to see what you guys like to bet on when it comes to horse racing. I'm going to tell you guys exactly how I go after it and how I'm able to actually make money with doing this and being able to, you know, bet on the horses. Because a lot of people in the industry, they lose money betting on horses. A lot of people do. So first off, what I want to say is like an exacta, trifecta, superfecta. Those are like pretty much your parlays. When it comes to like sports betting, comparing it, you know, that's pretty much where your parlays come in. So if you can get an exacta, you're pretty much parlaying 2 horses. Trifecta, you're parlaying 3. Superfecta, you're parlaying 4 horses. So that's pretty much like where that comes into play. You know, you could bet a small amount of money, $2-5 on a trifecta, and you can make a couple $100 doing it. So that's like your parlays when it comes to that. Me personally, I don't touch the exactas, trifectas, superfectas. I don't really do anything like that. What I usually do is I'll just bet on the horse to win in place. So I'll take one horse, and if it comes in first or second, then I'm able to make some money. So the first thing you want to find out is the trainer of the horse. What you want to do is you kind of want to go through a slate of, you know, races, and you want to be able to see exactly which trainers, you know, are training the certain horses in the race. Because I'm going to be honest with you, every race, there's multiple races every day, but when it comes down to it, there's usually only about 1 or 2 horses, maybe 3, that actually have a shot at even winning that race that you're going to end up watching. And the reasoning behind that is because one is the trainers. So you need to find out who the best trainers are. When you find out who the best trainers are, those are the horses that are gonna, you know, give you that next level of an edge. If your horse is getting trained by the best trainers in the country, obviously they're gonna have a better shot at winning than a horse that is not being trained by any of the top trainers in the country. So definitely when you're going through and you're looking at which horses to bet, look for the top trainers in the country. All right, you can see in the screenshot that I showed down here. Number 1 is Brad Cox. Number 2, Steve Asmunsen. Number 3, Todd Pletcher. Number 4, Chad Brown. These are names that, you know, if you're in horse racing and you do horse racing, you know who these guys are right off the bat. You already know. Bob Baffert. These guys are very famous trainers. So if you have horses that, you know, you see in a race that they're being trained by these guys, more than likely they have a better shot than people that are not being trained by them. Next thing, the jockey. So let's talk about the jockey now. He's the guy that's controlling the horse. That's the person that's going to be navigating the horse. That's the one that's going to know when they should break that horse, when they should, you know, move to the rail. That's very important, because if you don't have a top jockey, you don't have a really, really good jockey, then they can make mistakes. All right. It really doesn't matter about the trainer or the horse if you got the guy that's on top of the horse doesn't really know what to do and is making bad decisions. So very important, your jockeys. You want to be able to have top jockeys on your horses. And a lot of times that's where it draws a lot of money, because people will bet on horses just based on the jockey by themselves. But that's not the case. You got to have other things to correlate with that. All right, you can't just bet because it's the top jockey on a horse that you're going to take that horse. All right, the horse and the trainer might not be as good as who the jockey is that is riding them. You got to take other things into account as well. Another thing that comes into play too when it comes to horse racing is the distances. So pay attention to the distances as well, because sometimes they'll have 5 furlong, 6 furlong, 7 furlong races, which, you know, are quick. Those are like the sprints. And then they'll have ones that are longer, you know, that they go a mile and a quarter or whatnot. So definitely pay attention to the distances as well, on top of looking at the jockey, on top of looking at who the trainer is. All right, next thing, line movement is very important when it comes to horse racing, because when you are looking at the odds, because horse racing is kind of different, you know, from sports betting, as once you put your bet in, it does not matter what the odds were when you put that bet in. It matters when all tickets are final and the horse race starts going and, you know, it concludes, and how much money came in, because you're not betting against the sports book. You're betting against everybody else on what they're putting money on. So The line movement kind of tells you where the money's going and tells you if somebody's seen something in a horse last minute or whatnot. So me personally, like I don't even put my bets in for horse racing until they're almost like right at the gate, because sometimes the horses will be at the gate and then one horse starts freaking out in the gate. They got to pull the horse out. Next thing you know, that horse was like 5-1. Now he's like 10-1, 12-1 because he acted up. Something didn't look right. And then another thing is when they're coming to the gate, everybody gets to look at them, gets to see exactly what they look like. You know, oh, are they preppy? You know, do they look healthy? Does this horse look healthy? Does he look like he's ready to run? You know, you get to see things. So the line starts shifting right then because people see certain things. So definitely pay attention to that. Pay attention to the line movement when it comes to horse racing because it's very, very important. And you'll notice that a lot of the times, you know, when they're about to come out the gate right before the betting is closed, a drastic movement in a favorite or whatnot can almost tell you certainty that like that horse is going to win. Almost. It's very, like I've seen it happen a lot to where last second drastic movement goes and that's the horse that ended up winning. So let's go through the three things again that I want everybody to, you know, remember when it comes to horse racing. Make sure you're diving into. So first is the trainer. Make sure you have a solid trainer that is training that horse that you're going to put your money on. Always top jockey. Make sure there's a top jockey that is riding that horse as well. So if he's controlling the horse, you want him to be able to control that horse and navigate that horse to give you the best shot at winning, right? And then pay attention to the line movement. Line movement is very important. It can almost tell you the story of people think this horse is a good horse or they think it's not a good horse and something's happening to it. Pay attention to it. You can make a decent amount of money on horses. You really can. If you know what you're doing, you can do that. Now, another thing I suggest is don't, you know, be upset when you lose bets, because another thing you have to realize is, you know, if you pick a horse to win and they're 3-1, that's plus 300 translating to sports betting. 1 out of every 3 times you're going to win that, you know, you're going to win that race. So you can hit below 50% in horse racing and still be able to make money. All right. So it's very important to realize that you're not going to win every single race. You know, you're going to start tilting and betting stupid stuff. And next thing you know, you're trying to bet every single race because now you've lost a couple or whatnot. So try to avoid that. Just realize that you're going to get, most of the time, you're going to get plus money on all these horses. Most of the time, sometimes you'll be getting the favorite. You'll get maybe, you know, minus 150 or something like that. Maybe sometimes betting on the favorite, but most of the time it'll be plus money. If you hit 45 to 50% in that range and you're plus money every time, you're going to make money. So don't shy away from, you know, if you're hitting below 50%, because most of the time, like I said, it's plus money that you're betting on. If you guys are interested in learning, you know, exactly how to do this at a high level, I suggest you guys go down below in the description. Make sure you guys book a call so you can work with me one-on-one. I can show you guys how to exactly do it. So that way you guys can have fun and stop donating your money to the sports books.